New dwelling, a new beginning. But old injustices remain. Kings, insulated from the furies and frustrations of subjects, give with one hand, take with the other. King George's treasury needs gold. What better source than the American colonies? What better way than a tax? And another, and another.
The Crown claims that it seized your ship because you smuggled a cargo of wine into Boston without paying the new tax. Well, did you, Mr. Hancock?
It's a wicked tax, and you know it, John. Everyone avoids paying it.
Did you smuggle the wine, John?
That is not the case in question, Mr. Adams. I was neither tried nor convicted of smuggling, and yet they confiscated my ship. So I have no rights as an English subject.
So you smuggled the wine?
Thanks to you, Mr. Adams.
Sir.
Indeed, madam. It was John Adams who taught me to steal bluebirds' eggs from the nests of their jealous mothers when we were boys in Braintree. Those early lessons have sharpened my skill in dealing with the Crown's customs officers. Indeed, I believe I owe my entire good fortune to him.
I had understood that your good fortune came from a rich uncle who left you his great fortune.
Abby, Hancock is jesting with you.
Forgive me, Mr. Hancock. I seem to lose what little humor I have as my time draws near.
Well, Abigail, I know that women convicts will plead their bellies to gain pardons in court, but I expected a better defense from you.
Then I shall have to hire you as my lawyer.
No, madam. I need all his services for myself and my quarrel with the Crown. You're a lucky man, John. I envy you.
Envy me? Why, you've 1,000 friends in Boston for every man who will consent to know me.
Yeah, but a rich man never knows of his love for himself or for his riches. Now, I confess, even at our meetings at the Sons of Liberty, I sometimes wonder if I'm liked for my politics or for my pocket.
Well, that's easily solved. Give all your money away.
Oh, come, you're not serious.
Neither are you. Now, let's waste no tears on the velvet woes of the rich.
Oh, damn it, Mr. Adams. I don't know why I continue to deal with you. You've no gentility at all.
None. I'm a country boy, as you are. And that's why you deal with me. Come now, let's study this case of yours.
You don't strain your eyes on all that falderall. Now, my defense is my right as an Englishman. I say I cannot be taxed without my consent.
Ah, yes. Taxation without representation. The battle cry of every tight-fisted merchant who refuses to pay lawful duty to the Crown. Who can seriously contend that a tax on wine or paint puts our dearest rights in jeopardy? How else is the mother country to pay her armies, which protect our homes from the French menace? Now, most of our countrymen are content with dutiful relations to the Crown. But Mr. Hancock feels that he is free to obey only those laws which do not touch his pockets.
Among the hardships which attend this statute, we must never forget that it was made without our consent. My client, Mr. Hancock, never voted for it himself, nor did he vote for any man to make such a law for him. Mr. Sewell has told you that the Crown may interpret the law as it sees fit. A generous parent who needs not consult with us, her children. But we are not infants. We are free men. The Crown would delude us with shadows instead of substances. The Crown would make treasons where the law has made none. The Crown has never charged my client, Mr. Hancock, with any crime, yet it has interpreted the law so that it could confiscate his property. And whenever we leave principles and clear, positive laws and wander after such interpretations, we are soon lost in the wild regions of imagination and possibility, where arbitrary power sits upon her brazen throne and governs with an iron scepter. It is a hardship not to be endured.
Left, right, 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 left, right.
How's Susanna today?
The doctor stopped by this morning. He said she's a very weak baby for such a cold winter. How goes Mr. Hancock's case?
It goes on forever. I swear that case cannot be won or lost. I suspect the Crown's attorney will drop it for lack of evidence.
If only there was some end to this cold.
Oh, my dear, we will look back fondly on this winter in our old age. Imagine us sitting by the fire in Braintree. Me reading, you puffing on your pipe.
I pray all we do remember of this winter is the cold.
Verily, I say unto you, whosoever shall not receive the kingdom of God as a little child, he shall not enter therein. And he took the little children up in his arms, put his hands upon them, and blessed them.
It was a fine note of condolence that Cousin Sam wrote. Did you read it? Abby, far better you wept than to keep this silent grief. Susanna is gone, but God in his mercy has seen fit to bless us.
Do you think the grief is any less because I carry another child inside?
Try to remember what your father said. She is with God.
With such a small coffin. I have never seen so small. I do believe in God. I know he is just and merciful. I do believe there is a meaning and purpose in her death. But God willing, John, I pray I never understand it.
Hey, you limey bugger! Hey, what are you calling us booger, you bloody Yankee bastard? The lobster speak! Mine, he doesn't smell none too fresh, but if you let me have the lobster cheap, I'll cook it. If you don't fancy the taste, then keep it up for
The honor and dignity of a free legislature demands that the offensive guards and cannon be removed from our city. The Crown must end that clamorous parade which has been daily around the courthouse since the arrival of the troops.
Make it clear, we won't pay for the quartering of the troops.
An inquiry must be made into the repeated offenses and violences committed by the soldiery against the...
fireball. I see the smoke of flame. What happened?
Those bloody soldiers opened fire on a group of patriots at King Street.
Murdered them all, men and boys. It's a freaking massacre.
Give him room.
Find the wound. I'll try to wash. We gotta stop the bleeding. Margaret, get some water.
We better get a surgeon.
Let's get someone run for the surgeon. Down the street. Bastards open fire. Be okay.
Shall I answer?
No. No, I'll go. God knows what's afoot.
Yes?
Sir, I'd like to speak with Mr. Adams, if I may. It's in the way of business.
Come in. I'm Adams. What do you want?
My name is James Forrest. I'm the Customs House agent in King Street.
Where the massacre took place?
No massacre, sir. Honest defense.
Defense when soldiers fire on unarmed citizens?
Well, you hear the rest of the story, sir. Captain Preston asked me to...
Who's Preston?
The commander of the troops. He never meant to fire on the mob, sir. He was provoked. If a mob came after you with stones and curses, wouldn't you try to protect yourself?
Well, why do you bring me this story?
You're a lawyer. One of the best.
Well, surely there is Tory counsel more sympathetic to your friend's case.
They're afraid to defend him. They fear the wrath of the mob, sir.
My God, the last thing an accused man should lack in a free country is counsel.
As God's my judge, I believe him an innocent man. He didn't mean to fire on the mob. They left him no choice. There's a time when a man is forced to do what he hates.
I know that, sir. I will take his case.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. That's all he wants.
No, it's not. He wants his wretched life.